So it looks like that's going. So we are ready to begin. Go ahead and maximize this. Okay, this is the July 21st, 2021 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Strickey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20200121. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing, unless a party has opted to submit evidence in the form of writing prior to this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. In the event that any party testifies in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that is irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony. That's generally testimony you'd like to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who was not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties or any unforeseen circumstances with the video conferencing technology, we'll do our best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent we can't fix or cure any of those defects, I may continue or postpone this hearing at my discretion. Okay, I think we're about ready to go. Speaking of technical difficulties, Wes, if you can't hear us or we're at all unclear, could you please be sure to let us know? Okay.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, this is the microphone, so you can direct your voices that way. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. So the last thing I need to do is to swear in all of our witnesses, or anyone who intends on testifying, asking questions, making comments, really doing anything other than just strictly observing. You have to be sworn in. So I'll do that now. So if you could all raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Great. Fantastic. So, Mr. Bush, I assume you'll be taking the lead on sort of presenting why what this request is for and why it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. The floor is yours.
Well, I have some evidence here. I've already submitted some paperwork.
Okay.
Correct. And y'all should already have that.
Yes. I have the full application in front of me here. I can pull it over on the screen.
And I want to present this letter right here from my doctor.
From the doctor. Okay. Yeah, do you want to Thank you. Okay. Has this been submitted before to us, this particular document?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Because I do, here I'll pull this over. I do have this one from June 16th. So I just marked this exhibit A. I hope that's okay. That's fine. And yeah, this is the only other one that we have here from Margaret Lucas. Okay.
Okay, and I also was explained too that when I was here before that I needed signatures from neighbors. There's that they have a problem or something with what I was doing as far as putting a driveway in front of my house. Well, for number one, my mother is 94 years old, and well, excuse me, 93, and she's we live in a 2-family house. I stay on the 2nd floor. She stays on the 1st floor. So the street that I'm on is very narrow. There's parking on both sides, and also there's like no also there's like 7 houses on my street that are 2-family houses. And make sure I get that right. So read off what I wrote down. Would that be better?
Sure, if you'd like, yeah. I mean, so basically what I'm looking for, and I just pulled this up to help us with visual. Is it this one or
That one right
on the left?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, this is from 2011. So this in particular image, so it might be a little bit behind.
Right across the street from me, so you see the handicap parking spot right there.
Yeah.
Right there. And then I see school, there's handicap parking right there. And there's still been another one. That's 2000, what?
2011. So
11. So, but there's another. There's 2 handicap other parking spots.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is all useful information. I mean, basically, I'm just looking for an overview and background on what exactly the request is and why it's appropriate. So this is all in line with that. So however you want to orient the presentation is perfectly fine.
Okay. Well, I'm asking for the driveway for me. Because, like I said, I have an elderly mother. I can't be parking down the street and around the corner when the street's full of people. And everybody has family, neighbors, friends or whatever. And just getting groceries back and forth. It's been a hassle. I'm 70 years old. But like I said, my mother is 94, 93. And so we both aren't in great health to be parking 2 blocks away and walking. Number one, that's one of the main reasons I want to have it done. And free up some parking space. I've got a fire hydrant also in front of my house. You can bring that up there and see too. Right in front of my house is a fire hydrant. Right there. You went down to the far right where there it is, right there. So my parking is limited altogether.
Okay. This is your neighbor's driveway here.
She says that's the driveway, son, but that's really not a driveway, but we'll call it what it is.
What is it?
At one time when this house was built, it was like 1917 or something like when they built the house on the left there, White House on the left. We always understood, was told that house was built first. And the person who built that house had that house built when they moved in it. So he gave that house to his daughter. Had this house, my house, now, not built. And there was a adjoining driveway between the 2 houses. And behind my house, I got an extra little spot behind my house where a garage sat one time. So when the houses got sold over the years, they just, that was when property line was. And so that separated the driveway from the 2 houses. Gotcha.
Gate on, that's why they got the gate, how the driveway is now all the way back in the gate like
It's not too long. They just put that.
yeah, that's all I'm saying. This is the mom said, yeah.
Okay. All right, so why don't I'm going to give Wes an opportunity to testify here and add anything, if that's okay, or do you have more you want to say right now?
Well, I did get a rough estimate. The street is about 525 feet long and about 25 foot wide. Cars going from both sides. And 3 handicap spaces. And 7 houses, family houses, or 2 family homes on the street.
7 of the homes are 2-family.
Absolutely. So that means there's more cars on the street. There's a total of, let's see, the total amount of houses on the street is only like 8 homes or something like that, 7, 8 homes.
Okay.
And I've lived there since 1981. That's when I bought the house.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else right now?
That's pretty much what it's all about.
Okay. Wes, anything you'd like to add?
I mean, I don't know if I want to go through the staff report specifically, but I mean, there does seem to be some justification for a special exception here, based on the specific context of this request. There is a fire hydrant right in front of his house, prohibiting any on-street parking directly right in front of him. And there's limited on-street parking there as well. Just there's a lot of houses and nobody has driveways for off-street parking. They provided a letter from their doctor about the benefits of being close to their house for parking. And then also I reference a previous decision from 2015 about ADA related request for a front yard parking situation. So I mean, we recommended yes, along with some of the other details in the report. So that's kind of the quick highlights of that.
Okay. So I have a couple questions. So why not try to get one of the handicap parking spots on the street? So there were 3 other reserved handicap spaces.
That's for other elderly people who drive on the street also. So people who already had called the city and had them put handicap signs in front of the house because they had problems with parking also. So
Right.
That's why they had the handicap.
Right.
I couldn't get a handicap because I got the fire hydrant.
Gotcha. But you couldn't get it anywhere? Do those have to go directly in front of your home?
I don't know. I'm just taking somebody else's spot. That's
Right.
all I'm saying, sir.
Gotcha. So did you try to do that though?
To get a handicap?
Yeah.
No, sir. I hadn't called them for a handicap.
Okay.
Even if I got one down the street, even if I, wherever I go, even if I got one down the street, I still have to walk with my mother in the rain, snow, sleet. Heights don't make no difference up to where my house is at.
Okay. And this parking pad's already installed, right?
Parking pass.
Your parking pad, is already installed. Got a picture. Is there any buffering, any landscaping around it, anything at all to soften the appearance of the parking pad?
How do you mean? What I did, sir. What I did, sir, in my yard there, I went from fence line, one fence line to the other fence line, and poured concrete up to my steps.
So is this like
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes,
So
sir.
the whole front is concrete.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So there's not really any room for any. When I say buffering, I just mean it could be anything. It could be fence, it could be landscaping, anything, something like,
No,
that would be buffering.
no, sir.
Okay. All right,
Can I add something?
sure.
And there, I noticed over there, because there's 3 houses that have driveways, and 2 of the houses don't utilize it. So if you have 3 or 4 cars sitting, if somebody has 3 or 4 cars, and they're not using their driveways, or somebody coming to visit, that takes up excess space too.
There's some single family houses that got a couple cars.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a drive, or has a driveway and don't use it.
Gotcha. So you're saying there are some houses like this one, for instance, that have driveways that don't,
Well, that one there,
that don't even use the driveway.
someone there is going to come from go across the street here. And that house right there, so you get the driveway.
Yeah.
And they're using. They got 2 cars. Lady next to her, she, next to them, she's got, her and her friend, they've got 3 vehicles.
Gotcha. Okay. So there was one piece of correspondence, an email we got from someone who lives at 1615 Grantwood. A Johnny or Joni Bradshaw.
Yeah.
That is opposed to the parking space application.
I'm about to say that the right.
Okay. So she's
Change her mind.
Okay. Okay, I'm glad I asked. Gotcha. You said you had more of these?
Yes, sir.
I'll take them all. So what percentage of the property on the street does this represent?
Oh, which side down?
Yeah.
3/4.
That's because remember the other one, some of the units are 2 families already, not owned.
Right.
Correct. Yes. I had put this in there really quick because I'm gonna show you the typo line. I had a typo.
Okay.
These are the city matrix, this is the typo.
Thanks. Okay.
Cross out right there where everybody inside see I had made a mistake. Put my address down.
Okay.
Their address.
So can I keep these in the case file? Okay. Is it okay if I keep the medical print off from the case file as well? Okay. So I think that's all the questions that I have. Wes, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Nope.
Okay. Anything you guys want to say in closing or otherwise before we adjourn?
I would like to say on their behalf and on our, it's a lot of older residents that live on there, they own. On their behalf, the problem is because I'm there a lot, I have my own property too, and I have a street like theirs. But the difference is I'm younger and I can walk. With their street, it's a lot of elderly. And like I said, there's a lot of tenants that don't own. There's 2 families, so they may have 3 or 4 cars.
Yeah.
To that one building, so they really can't say anything because they don't own. But with his mother being of age, him being sick, I see it as really a problem because I'm there a lot. For instance, when I come, I might have to park down the street somewhere if I'm bringing groceries with me or anything I'm bringing for them. I live in North Side, so I live on a street similar to that.
Before you put in the parking pad, how far away would you have to park? Were there times where you couldn't park on the street at all?
Just have them like that, down the street around the corner. As a matter of fact, yesterday, something I wanted was we had a whole street shut down.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm like to say, the street is really narrow too. I have to difference in our streets. Like I said, I have this problem, but the street is so narrow. If you've got all that parking on this side and that side, people can't come this way and that way. It's just so congested.
Okay. So I will review these, take a look at everything in the staff report, and it usually takes about 2 weeks for me to render a decision. As soon as I do that, if it's convenient for you, I put it into an email and send it so you can get it just moments after we finish it. We can also put it in the mail if you'd like as well. And then once you get that decision and its approval, you can start working with West Montel to get the necessary permit. From that point, you'll be in compliance and be all set.
And also, I would like to have that in front of my house here, handicap sign. So I can, don't nobody pull in there and block my car even, so I can't get out.
So is that a DOT thing, Wes?
Yeah, I think so. If it's in the right of way.
So in order to get one of those signs, I think you would need to talk to the Department of Transportation. So
I've got to find out the results first.
Yeah. Okay. All right, sounds good. Anything else I can answer or help you with today?
That's it.
Okay.
I just like to say on their behalf and all the elderly people on that street, this would be a big help.
Okay. All right. Great. So we'll leave it at that. I'll go ahead